We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Eagles! Swinging a miss, stuck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Well,
Yep. We're back.
well, we're back. It's episode 130, 139, 179. Who knows? Who cares?
Yeah, nobody
Because-
knows yet.
Well, it's all the same. It's the same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. And the days go by. Will the water hold me up down? No, it won't. I'll just drown in the Schuylkill along with the dreams of all of us Philly sports fans.
Oh, listen. Well,
What
listen.
can we
Rich,
do?
as we were talking pre-show, we got a shirt for that.
We do
got
have a shirt for that.
Listen, I think we're right on the left-hand side. As soon
We
as
are.
the Eagles season listen, the Phillies is about to start. At
Yeah.
least there's next season. So, listen, at least there's always next year. So, and here we are. We're Rich. This time last year,
Yes.
we could not have been more fired up. We could not
Yeah.
have been more excited. Getting ready to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But good God, we had this team fell so far, so fast before we even had a chance to even blink. And
That it did.
if you had, if never did I ever think that, like we knew kind of going into that game that you were probably going to lose at least one coordinator, maybe two.
Yeah.
You lose both. We didn't realize at the time how integral Shane Steichen was to running that offense, and
Yeah.
really was the biggest offseason loss that this team sustained because of the dramatic effect that it had on the rest of the play calling and the rest of the team. But if you had told me this time last year that we would be in the same position that we were in, replacing both coordinators with a team coming off, losing the last, 7 out of 8,
Yep.
and to lose as bad as they lost and to look as lost as they lost. I look back at that Super Bowl stuff and I go, I would have never thought that I thought we would have been in a similar spot, like contending for a playoff, contending for a spot in the Super Bowl, trying to battle to get back to that game. And it just never was. So here we are. They've hired 2 new coordinators. So you're going to have we'll dive a little deeper into the Vic Fangio part of the defense, the Kellen Moore run offense, and maybe we'll talk a little Super Bowl a little bit later.
Oh,
So-
Super Bowl. Not
I
even
know.
excited. Not even excited.
No, I mean it's
like
not
what-
it's not.
It's not something that I really want to see. Like, I am not intrigued by this year's Super Bowl whatsoever. And I don't know if I'm just getting worn out of seeing the Chiefs or if I'm just getting worn out of staring at Kyle Shanahan's stupid fucking face. Because it's just tiring. It would have
He
been
does
nice.
have a hate the face.
Dude, he's such a hate the face kind of guy. It would have been nice to see Baltimore get there, but they choked. It would have been awesome to see Detroit. They choked, and now we're stuck with the Chiefs and the 49ers. It would have been awesome to see the Packers versus, the Lions in a divisional or like NFC championship game. That would have been fun.
Yes.
The narrative to me is just completely lost. It's like, okay, we get it. 49ers are good. We get it. Patrick Mahomes can do whatever he wants without anybody. Awesome. But I'm just kind of like, I haven't listened to anything, haven't watched any pressers, nothing. No. I could give two shits. Like I'm more or less just like today's Sixers news got me more than anything, and that just put a damper on things. But
that was like the Sixers news today was like pissing in your Cheerios. Like there's nothing to there's no way to make kind of heads or tails of that stuff. But
no.
Outside of I was listening to the New Heights podcast, but like I'm not checking in on media day. I really haven't listened. I don't necessarily watch SportsCenter anymore because I don't enjoy the way that it's kind of the way that the news is kind of distributed out there. But I don't know. It's there is a lot of fatigue from these two teams.
It's just
because you're talking about the Chiefs that have been to 5 out of the last 6, and there really is there's a lot of fatigue with how these two teams kind of just dominate the landscape of NFL football, and it's in one sense, Rich, I appreciate the domination and the excellence and them being able to kind of battle through a season where in terms of the Chiefs, in terms of they really struggled middle of the year, couldn't find their way out of a wet paper bag for a portion of their schedule. And they just kind of scrapped and clawed and kept fighting and kept battling. And I got to give them credit because they did something that this Eagles team didn't, which was kind of battle through the adversity and figure out a way to come out of it and, really be kind of excelling right at the right time. And
I agree.
Yeah, they beat a really good Miami team at home.
They didn't fold.
They didn't fold. They go into Buffalo, play their first road playoff game of Mahomes' career, and they go up there and they win. And then they go into Baltimore and they beat the MVP in Lamar Jackson, and they dominate him and make him make mistakes that he didn't make all year long. And they just get back to that game. And it really does show you kind of the dominance of Mahomes as a quarterback combined with, the coach that Andy Reid is in his kind of second wind with the Chiefs. But I'll agree with you. There's a ton of fatigue with these two teams because the 49ers have been just as dominant in the NFC. They're getting back to the NFC. They're on that trajectory now where they're getting back to the NFC Championship game on a regular basis over the course of the last 5 years, and they're just playing. They're playing really well. The funniest thing, Rich, I saw was they had like the pictures of the players, like where they take them in the Super Bowl jerseys, and the one of Brock Purdy was captioned like, "This looks like a little boy who's modeling the 49ers Super Bowl jersey for the Sunday Circular." Pretty
much.
But
and I don't know why I dislike Brock Purdy so much, but I just can't give that man any credit. I can't. I just can't do it, man. I can't do it.
I don't see the elite skills. I just don't. I see a guy who can just point guard distribute.
Yeah. But I see a guy who gets the ball to 3 explosive playmakers, 4 if you count Greg, George Kittle. It boggles my mind, but it shows like the coaching dominance of it all. And that's the thing that makes me upset is like how Andy Reid left here with all these coaches and players, and he brought on the Greg Lewis's, the Todd Pinkstons on his coaching staff. Todd Pinkston is your fucking running backs coach. Greg Lewis is your wide receivers coach. Spags has been with him for how long? And we're just rotating through coordinators. And it's just like, imagine developing a system. Imagining having coaches that bring on these guys that stay because they know they excel at being coordinators and they can win multiple championships instead of going somewhere else, fanning out, and then returning to a different team and essentially being demoted back to a coordinator. Like, that's what gets me is like Andy Reid is a fantastic coach, and the coaches that he has around, everybody's like, oh man, Eric Bieniemy is going to be gone. This offense is going to be terrible. Well, they're still doing good things with nobodies. Tyreek Hill sitting on the couch at home in Miami, it's fucking crazy. And it's so off-putting. We get to watch our coaches and our coordinators just be recycled after recycled after recycled. And, losing Steichen killed. Imagine having Steichen back this year and seeing where it would have went. And I just feel
if you feel like Sirianni and the what essentially feels like a demotion, so he just becomes the CEO figurehead of this team, and really just kind of delegates everything to Vic Fangio is going to take care of everything on the defense. Kellen Moore is going to take care of everything on the offense. And I love the one question during the presser, which is like, okay, so basically what are you going to do? What's your job?
Yeah.
But if you really think that model can be successful, then you're looking at you need that CEO coach to be able to turn over, because if you're successful, then hypothetically you're going to put those guys in positions to get other jobs, and you're going to need the next guy to come in and you need to be that CEO type. So if Kellen Moore comes in and he's able to get this offense back to where it was 2 years ago, and he's able to get Jalen Hurts looking like he was when he was on track to win the MVP last year, when you get, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert in space, and you're able to, when you're able to kind of, if he is able to put all those pieces together, which I think it's trending that it would, because when you look at the one thing I was looking at when that hire came out was like, go look at the wide receiver route trees from the Chargers, and then look at the ones from the Eagles from this past season.
Yeah.
And they look like it reminded me of like the Chargers stuff looks like a scribble.
Yeah.
It looks like there are lines literally just going in every direction. And the Eagles offense looked like your high school geometry class where they're none of the lines cross over at all.
No, there's no crossing routes.
And that to me gives me a lot of promise to see, like, okay, if this is the type of route tree that we can expect, and we know the type of athlete that we have on the outside, then I got to trust that they're going to try to get those three guys in the passing game in space to be able to get those, because that's how you're going to make this offense successful.
Yeah. I just am afraid that what happens if they're successful and then boom, we're back at it to square one. And it's just like,
but Rich, if you trust Sirianni to be the CEO figurehead that you've now put him in the position to be, then that's his job to now bring in the next guy and make sure the next guy is picking up where this guy left off.
Yeah.
Which I think that was the thought process in bringing Brian Johnson in, is that they were keeping continuity in that position. But in reality, you put a guy in position to not call play or to call plays when he had zero experience calling plays.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Kellen Moore's coming in with play calling experience, albeit with the Cowboys and then with the Chargers. But you're bringing in with both of these guys experience, where Brian Johnson and Sean Desai really didn't have either one of those things, albeit for Desai had that little bit of time with the Bears. I think these two hires scream of we need experience. We need guys that we know that when they bring out that call sheet on Sunday or Monday or this year on Friday,
guys are going to trust it.
That they're trusting that those guys are going to put them in position because they've game planned. They've put the game plan together to make that successful. So
no, I agree
with that. I really like where this is headed in terms of it. To me, when it came down to it, I would have been okay if they went Kellen Moore or if they had gone. I know Kingsbury was kind of in the mix too, and I don't know what came down to delineating between the two of them, but I feel like either one of them was running a more creative version of this offense.
Yeah.
Versus what we saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with the Kellen Moore signing. I didn't want anybody who, was just – I wanted a guy with experience. I would have liked to have the Texans offensive coordinator, but why would you move laterally to a different position? It makes no sense.
Right.
I'm just glad that both of the coordinators are gone. Vic Fangio, I could care less about, veteran guy, whatever. He runs a lot of 3-4. Hopefully we start respecting the fact that we need linebackers. And there's some guys I would like to target. The guy from Carolina, Luvolu, whatever his name is, linebacker down there, and guy I would go after. Guy like Devin White, just brings speed.
Patrick Queen is another guy.
Patrick,
right?
I would throw the fucking book at Patrick. I would open up that checkbook and be like, come here. Him, Devin White in the middle, Jesus Christ. Like that to me would be nice. A lot of speed, a lot of quickness. And, it's a different NFL. You need to respect the linebackers.
Trouters kid in the second round.
Yeah. I would try to get the tight end from Georgia because
that Senior Bowl footage was wild.
He is a wide receiver who plays tight end, and that kid is so fucking good. And they need to address the tight end position, with Dallas Goedert never staying healthy. So you're looking at it.
This is about the time where they drafted him. This is about the time in Ertz's career when they drafted Goddard. So
they drafted
surprise me.
So, it's going to be interesting to see what the coaching staff and the input that they have going forward because, Howie really likes hiring yes men. So hopefully it's not that. I will be super excited if we come out week 1 and we are not running the RPO and we are getting guys just in space, lots of motion, and just picking guys or crossing guys open. I mean, it's something that I want to see. I want to see the utilization of the middle of the field. I want to see our defensive ends blitzing, not dropping back into coverage. And that was probably my favorite thing that the Eagles defensive line coach said was, I don't want to see my guys going backward. You got to make a stance on these are defensive ends. These are your pass rushers. You don't drop them back into coverage. And it just showed how asinine and how ill-equipped this coaching staff was, that we had, that they were unable to replicate the success with some better pieces brought into the mix. And how the Eagles weren't ever able to get anything from Derek Barnett. And then he goes to Houston and DeMeco Ryans lights a fire up under his ass. And he's all of a sudden turns into, in the last few games, one of the best defensive ends in football. So there's a lot of question marks I have still with inside the organization. And I don't know where they're coming from, but it'll be good to see it change. And it'll be nice to see Nick Sirianni step back. And I hope Howie steps back and just lets these coaches do what they need to do. Let Nick run the team. Don't have so much input because your input fucking stinks. How they how they let Sean Desai and Brian Johnson stay on for the plane ride back after the playoff game is beyond me. So we're looking at this and we're going to sit here and we're going to say, hey, the Eagles got a new offensive coordinator. Yes. Is it a guy with experience who can play call? Yes. Is he going to scheme guys open? Fucking right he is. And then we have an experienced defensive coordinator, likes to run the 3-4, which I am all for. You put the big boys up front and you let those linebackers and those DNs get home. Like, let's see something different. I want to see some development of these young corners. You know, we're most likely not going to have Slay back. We're most likely not going to have Bradbury back, which I'm completely fine with. Let me see what Ringo's got. Let me see what fucking Eli Ricks has. Let me see what Isaiah Rodgers has. Like, let's fucking go. Like, I'm excited and I want to see something different. I want to see a bunch of young, hungry, and motivated guys.
I think, Rich, the idea that you selectively get younger, you get addition by subtraction, right? You get some of those older, albeit more experienced guys off the field, but you allow these young guys to be put in positions to be successful. And, you know, to go back to the route tree concept that we were talking about earlier, right? This is the Devontae Smith route tree from the game in Washington. Now he's 7 of 7. He gets 7 targets, 7 receptions. But if you look at this, there is no creativity at all. This is just like, I'm just going to run straight, right? And here is in the game against Dallas, right? Everything is all on one. Like, if he lines up on one side of the field, there's one route where he crosses over the hash mark. Okay, so
and look at that
now, right? And you look, and I'm sure if we kind of overlap the two of them, right? If a guy lines up on the left side, he's not crossing the hash. Now,
no.
I'll show you. These are Keenan Allen Chargers, right? You're seeing plays where he's lining up on the right side of the hash and catches the ball all the way on the complete opposite sideline. You're seeing places where guys are crossing, right? You look at, like, here's a CeeDee Lamb route tree, right, from a game against New Orleans, right, all over the field, right? But these are games that Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator. So you imagine putting the athleticism of A.J. Brown, who arguably could be in the top 5 in wide receivers in the entire league if you put him in space. And I look at this route tree and I go, it makes me salivate. Like, these route trees, like, you put them side by side with the ones that we just showed from the Eagles. I mean, if I'm Kellen Moore, I'm looking at that going, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, how could you not think of ways week after week after week to get these guys in space? Right, here's another CeeDee Lamb, route tree from 22. Right, starts on almost half of the routes where they start, they end up on the opposite end. Right, and there's a ton of pre-snap motion, which is exactly what you want to see, right? And just to kind of circle back, right? Here's the Devontae Smith route tree, right? Like, no creativity, no crossing, and hence the reason why, Rich, that when we saw some of those simulcasts where they had the players on there, it's not a wonder why it became as predictable as it did.
Yeah, I mean, just predictable on both sides. It's fucking crazy, dude. Like, you just look at those routes and it just boggles your mind of how mundane and, like you said, how Pop Warner those routes were. All right, you're just going to run straight, turn around, come this way. There's no creativity whatsoever, no motion, no nothing. Like, you potentially have 2 top 10 wide receivers. Devontae Smith is one of the best route runners and has some great hands in the NFL. Like, you see him shine every single time Dallas Goedert goes out. You see him shine. You see him step up. He is a wide receiver 1. You have a wide receiver 1A and a wide receiver 1B. And it makes me fucking throw my head through a wall that we can't get it right for these guys. Like we got it right with Steichen. And then this whole year, the yards, whatever, the catches, yada, yada, yada. It should have been so much more. And that's what pisses me off. A.J. Brown should have had 1,500 yards. You should have had fucking Devontae Smith with 1,400 yards. It's fucking crazy how terrible this offense was. And the lack of creativity, the lack of insight, the lack of just basic football knowledge of scheming guys open. Like when you could be a couch coach at home and come up with better plays and better ways of running this offense, it's fucking sad. Because I think almost 1 million Philly fans could have been better offensive coordinators.
Yeah. Listen, and so, I mean, and they did hire a bunch of other position coaches, right? They get a new quarterbacks coach. Kellen Moore brings in a guy that he's worked with in Nussbaum that he brings in from the Chargers, which, tells me that Nick Sirianni has zero influence on who these guys are bringing in, right? These guys are bringing in their own guys. You saw the guy who looks like a Mack truck coming in to coach the D-line, Clint Hurt.
Yeah.
I think that the idea that you're going to get a lot of productivity from these guys, I'm excited. The 3-4 does excite me a little bit. You are going to see not as much blitz as we would like from that Vic Fangio defense, but it is known for kind of the emphasis on the linebacker play, right? So I look at a guy, Rich, the guy that took like a huge step up this year for the Dolphins was the white guy.
He was a monster.
The white guy with a white name, Van Ginkel.
Yeah, Van Ginkel.
Right. So I look at like a guy. I look at a guy. Their number one draft pick from last year, from their second number one draft pick. Right. They bring in Nolan Smith. Maybe that's a guy that gets an opportunity to get on the field more, be put in positions to be more athletic, and maybe you can get what you thought you might get out of him by putting him off the edge, off the ball, putting him in positions to kind of accelerate where he's great, which is in space, and you let him utilize his speed on the edge.
Yep.
But I think you're right. I think the best additions that they can make are by putting an emphasis more on the guys that are on the younger guys. So
you want to build those guys. I mean, we've seen the Bradbury Slay experience for 2 years. The Bradbury experience is just terrible. Slay has been consistent, but he made some business decisions toward the end of the year where he kind of was like, I'm done. And that's completely fine. Like, I don't need an aging corner. He can go somewhere else, get paid big money, and fall off that cliff, that cornerback cliff, which I'm not worried about. But, you see these guys, like Andy Reid will just throw these rookies, these third-round rookies out there and be like, hey, you're starting right cornerback. All right, you're my left cornerback. You're my nickel guy. And it's, kind of sink or swim, feast or famine. And it's crazy that he hits. He hits with these guys. And it has to do with coaching. You coach these guys up, they can the ball. I mean, there's a reason why they were drafted in the NFL. So
Rich, you look at a guy. I'm gonna give you a prime example, right? A guy that fits into all the statistical categories that you just mentioned with Andy Reid. Look at a guy like L'Jarius Sneed. Right, 4th round pick.
Kid's a fucking
138th overall, but a pick from 2020. Yeah. Right. It took 4 years, but he's now in a position, right, where he's putting himself in a position to get paid. Yeah. But a guy that Isaiah Pacheco, right? A guy who's in a 7th round pick, who they just groom and put him in positions. And he eventually takes over the spot from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and
Yep.
he looks like a fucking animal. But
Karlaftis. Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton was like a second, third round pick.
Yeah, and we're kind of leading right into this Super Bowl conversation, but like the job that Spags is doing on that defense. I mean, talk about doing something with nothing, man. He took Chris Jones and a bunch of dudes and built a fucking animal of a defense, and they are the reason why they were able to navigate through that insanely tough path in the middle of their season.
Aren't they glad they ended that holdout?
Yo. That dude is a fucking beast too.
Him and Karlaftis are fucking scary on the same line.
Right? It's bad.
They
are bad dudes.
They're bad dudes.
I'm kind of siding with my neighbor. I got a next door neighbor who's from Kansas City, so I don't give them any shit when they put their Chiefs shit out on Sundays. But I'm really hoping that there's a Chris Jones, Brock Purdy interaction at some point during this game where
I want it a lot.
I want that real bad.
I want to see CMC get smacked into next year, mainly because of all the years on Carolina where I drafted him and he always got hurt. And then he gets to the 49ers and decides he's going to stay healthy and scored like 20 consecutive touchdowns. Fuck him.
Oh,
and I want to see Debo get rocked because I just can't. And that's my problem. Like, I would be more gassed up if it's like I'm not saying I don't like the Chiefs, but I could care less. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Andy. I like the Travis Kelce. I'm kind of over. And not even because of like the Taylor Swift stuff. It's like that's not his fault. I'm just kind of like over it. Like, Trav, you're great, you're good, whatever. Mahomes, I was like, man, this kid is like ridiculous until like, now he's the face of the league and he's a fucking crybaby every single time he gets hit. Like, now I'm just annoyed. Like, you were a baller and now you're fucking trying to be Tom Brady. Like, I'm over it. And then you go to the other side of the ball and it's a bunch of guys I don't like. It's a bunch of guys I don't like.
I think it's more at this point, it's more me rooting against the 49ers than it is for the Chiefs.
Yep. And that's exactly how I feel.
And they spent the better part of 9 months crying about
the fans
how it would have been different. And instead of just taking the L, and they decided to spend 9 months making excuses. And listen, they basically ended the season in week 12 when they came in here and just lit this roster on fire, and did it with a smile and walked out of here. And they basically set the, I think, Rich, that was the game where they set this team on a tailspin that they just couldn't recover.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. That was the death of the Eagles.
They basically saw every bit of weakness and from the second possession on, just ruined them, and it just got ugly. Just got ugly real fast. But they got a lot of guys that I just don't like. A lot like the guys that you're talking about on offense. Like, I can't stand to see, like, CMC drives me fucking nuts. Debo, like those guys, they got a bunch of hate the face guys, and I'm not sold on Brock Purdy. I know that there's a lot of people saying that there's a lot that he was able to do this year to kind of prove himself and prove that last year wasn't a fluke.
It's but so I really crazy that he's surrounded by 3 people, 3 skill positions around him are all pros, and he's not. That's all.
Right?
That's all. It's the same fucking. Because you know what irks me? It like gives me PTSD when everybody was like, "Oh my god, we got to go sign Jimmy G. Look what he did in San Fran. Oh my god, he's so good." And it's like, I was so sick of hearing Jimmy G and Brock Purdy's the same fucking guy. Game manager throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and all these guys are yak guys. Like, I'm fucking over it. He's not making good throws. He's not throwing it tight into a tight window. He's fucking doing swing passes and drag routes and crossing routes and posts. Like, that's all he's fucking doing. And then when he gets a little bit of pressure, he's fucking gets rattled.
And Rich, in all reality, they were probably the reason that they're in the Super Bowl has more to do with the fact that the Packers and Lions both lost those games more than they came in and dominated and won.
If Dan Quinn would have took the points, regardless of Josh Reynolds dropping 2 passes, if he would have took the points, it's a different game.
Oh, Dan Campbell?
Yeah, Dan Campbell. What did I say? Dan Quinn? I say Dan Quinn. Where
That's
the fuck's he?
Dan Quinn's the coach of the Commanders. He's the head coach of the Commanders.
Oh, wow. Oh, and he took Brian Johnson with him.
And he took Brian Johnson with him.
Nice. Good for him. Good for him.
But like that, like Dan Campbell left 9 points on the board.
And they would have won.
That's the difference in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was kind of the way that they kind of rolled throughout this whole season, is kind of, you know, going for it on those things. But like,
you don't do that in the playoffs.
Right. The play, like, I think what Dan Campbell realized Monday morning is that in those games, it's such a high leverage situation that anytime you have opportunity to take the points, doesn't matter if it's 3 or 7, you take the points, because you can't put yourself in a position to leave points on the board, because some of those possessions in the second half would have taken that lead to 3 possessions.
Yeah.
It would have put the game back into, even though they were kind of keeping up with them, they had opportunities to keep that game at 17.
Yeah.
And by not taking the points there, that game goes from, instead of 17 to 7, it's a 10-point swing. And then they come right back and score again, and it's tied. And that game was over before they knew it. And the second that game was tied, they fucked around and found out, because it was not impressive to see. And they had a really, really good game plan in the first half. And I feel like they came out in the second half and just kind of went away from everything that was successful in the first half. But I really, truly believe that the only reason that this 49ers team is sitting in the Super Bowl right now has more to do with the fact that the Packers and Lions both had them on the fucking ropes at home.
Jordan Love should have beat them
in both games. And both of those teams figured out ways to lose rather than the 49ers figuring out ways to win. The Chiefs, I feel like, are on the other end. I feel like the Chiefs
found ways to win.
They found ways to win in all 3 games, which is why in this game I'm looking more Chief. Like, I think this is a Chiefs.
Kyle Shanahan is going to get out-coached like it's his fucking job, and I'm here for it. I can't. It's like aggravating me talking about him, because this guy is looked at like such a fucking genius, and he was the sole fucking reason they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots, being up 28-3.
Yeah,
he's not a fucking genius, man. Like, he's not. And he's going to be a fucking head coach forever. And take away Christian McCaffrey. Take away fucking who else? Chase Young and all these fucking guys they got. All these guys who were there before him, and Fred Warner and I don't know, whoever the fuck.
Fred Warner.
Like
Nick Bosa, Dre Greenlaw.
And Kyle Shanahan is fucking nothing. He walks into a great situation. They got fucking guys for a steal, and he's feasting off it. I mean, good for him, but I fucking can't stand him. I'm saying Chiefs 28-21.
Okay. I thought, like, I was like thinking in more like 31-24, but like I think it'll be back and forth. I think there's definitely, I'm not a betting man, but if I did, I'd probably bet the over
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is going to be a game where there's points scored. Who do you think wins the MVP?
Mahomes. Who do I want? Who do I want to win? Karlaftis. I always like taking a defensive player too. So like I would put money like I don't bet the quarterback because I'm not betting like $1,000 to win 100. Like no, I'm not doing that. I bet like, all right, let me see who's a decent enough defensive player. Like the one time where I won a good chunk of money was I took Von Miller at like minus 6,000, and then I also took Von Miller for a forced fumble. So that got me paid. And I'm like, that was great. And that was all for like $15, like made like $700. I'm like, that's awesome. So like, give me Chris Jones, give me fucking Karlaftis. They're guys that I would take.
All right. I got, all right. So Mahomes, Purdy, and Christian McCaffrey so Mahomes is plus 130.
Yeah. So you bet 130.
30 to win 100.
To win 100. I'm not doing that.
Now I got a guy, Rich, that fits all of your criteria. A guy you just mentioned, Chris Jones. Chris Jones is plus 8,000.
Yeah, I'm putting probably like $25 on him. I'll put $25.
Rich, all you need is a
big
strip sack.
Yep.
Strip sack, force fumble, rumble and tumbling into the end zone for to put them up 10 late.
Yep.
When it's the kind of game where like Mahomes spreads the ball around, no one's got like super great. Mahomes throws for like 225, but like Isaiah Pacheco maybe gets a run, Rashee Rice gets a catch, and then Chris Jones comes in.
Got two
gets
and
his
a half
third
sacks.
sack.
Forced fumble.
Gets his third sack, forced fumble, returned for a touchdown. I'm talking myself into it.
Deflection on a fourth down to ice the game, something shit like that. I would take Chris Jones at minus 8,000. I like that.
There we go.
Or if the Chiefs win, Travis for Taylor.
Yeah, I mean Travis is at 1,400. Which is not bad. It's not bad odds.
No.
Pacheco is at 3,000, at minus 3,000, which is not bad.
But running backs don't win those.
No, but I mean, listen, unless they hand him the ball off at the goal line and he gets 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got 18 carries for 26 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mahomes wins MVP. That's what we have. He needs to have like 180 yards and like 2 TDs and shit for that to happen, and that's not going to fucking happen.
He needs to have like a Marcus Allen Super Bowl.
Yes, ain't going to happen. I would love to say it, but it ain't going to happen.
I got you. I hear you. What Rich? Is there any favorite Super Bowl spreads? Super Bowl the food spread? Is there a food spread that you like to dabble in on Super Bowl Sunday?
Man, always got to have some wings. Always got to have some wings. I'm probably going to go to a ShopRite on Saturday, and I'll pick up some wings. Okay. I'll make my own wings. Get some sauce, mix up a nice sauce.
What's the recipe for the special sauce?
Oh man, I don't know. I just usually throw a bunch of shit in a pot, and hopefully it tastes good. Usually, like I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Usually, I'll get like a different. I'm so particular because I like hot sauces and I like buffalo sauces, but some of them are just like real acidic and vinegary. So I kind of, I get the bottle, throw some butter in the pan, throw a bottle in there, add a little bit of honey, add some different spices to it. One of my secret ingredients is French dressing. Little dabs of French dressing in there. Gives a nice little taste. Cut the acidity out of, that's why I use the butter and the sugar. Cut the acidity and the vinegar out of the the generic like $2 bottle of hot sauce that you buy. And you can just go either way. I might do like a honey teriyaki, get some sesame, do some honey teriyaki.
Okay.
Probably make like boneless wings and, Jamie, something like vegan or vegetarian. And just like toss it up in a bunch of different sauces. And, pizza, bro. Like, I'm not a big, I'm not a dip kind of guy. Like, I really don't like dips. Like, I could give two fucks about a dip. Except, shout out to my boy, Christian. Makes an excellent buffalo chicken dip. Brings into work. Great PT.
Nice.
Brings into work. We eat it. It's delicious. But, like, I'm not a big, like, even at barbecues, I'm not a potato salad guy. I'm not a macaroni salad guy. Like, me, mayonnaise, and the sun just don't get along. So I stay away from it.
I'm out on everything mayo.
I don't do salads because I'm not a salad guy. I really could care less. So like, just give me like the traditional spread. Give me some chicken wings, well done, fried hard, and some pizza. And I'm happy. Like, and chips, like any type of fucking barbecue chip. So that's most likely what's going to be on my my spread, or the honey mustard pretzel bits from pieces from they're always
nice.
How about you, Don?
Yeah, listen. We're I think we're spending the weekend pretty much not cooking at all because we're gonna have we'll be out tomorrow night, but we're celebrating. Kip's turning 13 on Saturday, so we're
old son of a gun.
So we're gonna let he's ordering out, so we're getting pizza and hoagies and stuff, and
nice.
We're gonna celebrate my nephew's birthday he always has a Super Bowl birthday party.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm sure they're gonna have the whole gamut of spreads, but I mean, you can't go wrong with the wing. The wing is just elite. It's
where it is.
So I feel like we're gonna have a bunch of pizza, hoagie, wing, leftover kind of stuff. But Rich, I'm gonna run some. There's a place that I used to work at in Glenside that has a lot of like specialty wing sauces. So I'm just gonna throw a bunch of wing sauces at you, and I'm gonna go yay or nay.
Okay.
So all right, we got the Jamaican jerk chicken, the Jamaican jerk sauce.
Yay all day.
The Thai hot.
Nay.
Okay. Thai sesame.
Yay.
Okay. The honey Caribbean.
Different. Yay.
That's when I worked there. That was my favorite.
I'm gonna
like
say
sweet, hot spice, but all right.
Okay.
So the Southern Country garlic is a butter garlic pepper.
No.
Okay. Lemon pepper.
No.
Okay. Pineapple honey habanero.
Yes. All day.
Okay.
Give me pineapple. Give me honey. Give me habanero. Give me that juicy, fruity, sweet hotness. I'm in it.
Ooh. Okay. All right. The Tex-Mex barbecue.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. Let's go Tex-Mex.
Okay.
Even though nobody in the world can fucking tell me what Tex-Mex is because it's not fucking real.
All right. The hottest sauce they had was called the rump roaster.
Okay.
I'm
down for that.
Okay.
Right, I will eat. I mean, I have like the hot ones last dab, the Carolina Reaper sauce upstairs.
Okay.
And it makes me sweat thinking about it. Like when I'm a person why I don't understand why I do it to myself, but I go through like phases when it comes to hot things. I love hot foods. Okay. And I don't. All right, let me rephrase. I like spicy foods. I don't like hot. When I say hot, is just mouth burning, no flavor. You could give me something that is extremely hot but has great flavor, which I would say would be spicy, and I will eat the whole fucking thing as bad as it hurts me. But if it tastes good and I can't put my fucking spoon down, and I'm like fucking sweating, my eyes are more like, that's good. I'll deal with the consequences after. But sometimes people just like pouring capsaicin oil in their fucking like hot sauce just to make it so hotter. And it's just, I don't need to eat heat. Like that's not what I'm eating these for. So depending on what was like the flavor profile of the rump roaster, was it just hot, like flavor?
It is flavorful, but it is like insanely fucking like when they would serve it, they would only serve it in like normally any other wing you normally get in denominations of 10.
Yeah.
When they would do the rump roaster, you get 3 because it really was. I
wonder what was in the sauce.
There was one guy that worked the kitchen that would make the sauce. It was the owner's son. He was the only guy who he would come in once a week and make all the sauces for the week. But he would come in. It would be done before the chef even showed up. So they're all just in the canisters already. But it was, I'm sure, some combination of like the really, really, really hot shit. And it was a combination of all of it.
It might be like a 7-pot pepper like sauce, which is pretty dope. It's a nice Caribbean pepper blend. It's very good.
It's
hot as fuck.
But I really liked the honey Caribbean was like a good mix between like the sweet and the heat, but it had that Jamaican jerk spice on it. So like the Jamaican jerk one is more like baked, like in the broiler. Like you put like they take the seasoning on there, put them in the broiler, and make them crispy that way, then fry them. So it's different, but seeing those little combinations is nice. But Rich, go ahead.
You, how do you feel about like Carolina barbecue sauce? Like a nice, like mustardy barbecue sauce.
I mean, I don't hate it. I like the mustardy. I like the mustard angle. Whenever we do ham for my father-in-law, we always make I make this. It's yellow mustard, Dijon, the spicy brown, and then the coarse ground. Yeah. In the pot, brown sugar, honey, maple syrup.
That's that shit.
Right. And then just pour it on top of the ham, and then it's all sliced, so it's in between every slice, and just pour a little bit every 15, 20 minutes. I can get down with some of that. That mustard sauce is good. I'm like you, Rich. I'm out on everything mayo. Everything mayo is just.
I like mayo.
I don't need any of the mayo salads. I don't need the macaroni salad, the potato salad. Like I'm out on all that shit.
Pasta salad.
That to me,
give Jamie's
gross because that's
phenomenal. But I could give 2 fucks about pasta salad.
Oh, I'm sure it's far from the macaroni salad that you pick up at the at ShopRite. Like the shit that, and the thing that fascinates me about that is like you get that shit in the summer. And then people put it outside, and that shit bakes all fucking day.
That's what I'm saying. Like, mayo, the sun, like, no, that's disgusting.
Nope. I'm out.
That's why I only eat at select people's houses. Why didn't you eat anything? Well, the fucking mayo salads have been sitting out all fucking day. I'm good. Thank you.
Before we jump out of here, right? The news comes out late in the week that the Eagles are going to play in Sao Paulo on opening week of the 2024 season on Friday night. So now you're going to have the opening night Thursday. You're going to have this game in Brazil on Friday, and then you'll have Sunday, and then you'll have Monday. I know that you share your feelings because I know I know you feel a certain way about this.
Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, we don't need fucking. Why do we have to have 4 days out of 7 being football wrapped up? Like, it's so fucking annoying. Like, I understand they want people to fucking breathe and eat this shit. but it's so fucking terrible for the sport. It's terrible for the game. Amazon trying to like throw billions of dollars to get like another game on Fridays. Why? You're not giving these guys extended breaks. You know, the Eagles got fucked royally 3 times this year playing on against opponents who had a week and a half break, and they were coming off fucking up. They played Monday night, got to play Thursday, got to play Sunday, got to play Saturday. Like, stop with these football. Monday, Sunday, Monday. That's it. Thursday night football is trash.
The games are horrible.
And now they're like starting to like take over like Saturdays halfway through the season, like stepping on fucking college football's toes. Like, come the fuck on, man.
Like, I would love to just get back. Can after the season that we had with the amount of primetime games that we had and the games that got flexed, and can we just get some fucking 1 o'clock games? Can I get a 1 o'clock? Can I get a pile of 1 o'clock games? Yeah. Now, I know the Eagles are taking this opportunity to like put their franchise in the spotlight, be the first team to play, whatever. But you're going to have a new staff. Rich, the smartest thing I heard all week, I heard Ruben Frank and Dave Zingaro talking about like the possibility of them going down like for like the Monday before the game. Like go down Saturday, Sunday, Monday, one of those days, and just be down there practicing all week. Because that's
it's
like,
hot.
It's hot. It's 2 hours. It's 12 hours away. It's a 2 hour time difference. So like right now in Brazil, it's almost 11. So it's 2 hours ahead. But
so what time the fuck is this game going on?
So you're talking this game's going to get played on Friday night. I'm sure it's not going to come on until 8 o'clock, which means the start time there is 10 o'clock local time. Like, so are you then backing up this game to like a Monday night game the following week so that you give them a break? Like they're going to start the year.
It's the NFL. They don't give a fuck. They're probably going to play Sunday at 1 o'clock. And it's going to be the first game kicked off. Guaranteed. Or there'll be dickheads like, oh, this is your Thursday night game. So
I mean, I like the idea of getting the international game done,
but not on a fucking Friday.
Yeah, not on a Friday in Brazil, where like I really do like I really do hope that they go down early, right? It's the beginning of the week, right? So they're not going to be coming off any kind of like they're going to be coming off the preseason. So I think that if they can take that as like their like this could be their like Lehigh training camp. Like they go down there as a team for a week, spend a week down there with coaches, players, because you're going to have new defensive staff, new offensive staff. Take the time to go down there, use that as the team building, and just maybe get an opportunity to kick the season off right and not, I don't know.
I'm with you, Don. I'm with you, bro.
Sounds good. Final thoughts.
Oh, man, final thoughts. I don't know, man. I think I just ranted enough about the NFL. But final thoughts. It's a real bad time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. Carter Hart, sexual assault. Fuck him. That's just not right. I have zero tolerance for that. Then we got our number one prospect who goes, oh, yeah, I want to be traded. Joel Embiid, fat guy, falls on leg, tears meniscus. Then we trade every single person today for God knows what reason. And then the Phillies sign Aaron Nola. And then we just saw the monumental collapse of the Eagles. Go Kicks.
The Wings are playing.
Wings are back, baby. $5 Fridays. Let's go.
Go watch indoor lacrosse. Yeah, Rich, I'm just going to double down on that. It's the last year and a half has been just a really funky fucking spot for this city. Like you back it up all the way. Like let's just look at the last calendar year, right? Between the Phillies losing to the Astros on the same day that the Union loses to the they lose their championship on the same day the Phillies lose. 9 months, 3 months later, the Eagles lose the way that they lose in the Super Bowl. And then, this season rolls around, the Phillies have the epic collapse that they do. Like you have the Embiid can't stay healthy. When the vibes could not be higher with the Flyers, you have within a couple days of each other the sexual assault shit that goes on with Carter Hart. That his days are done in this city, and I got no time for that. I'm not going to spend any more time talking about him. And you got the situation with Embiid, and he's not staying healthy, and it's a weird place to be, because I feel like, what did we do? What did we do? What did this city do to piss off the sports gods that they make these journeys so arduous and so mind crushing? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but listen, we're here and we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. Mark and I are going to be on Sunday morning talking to little Flyers and Sixers. So we'll talk a little, Sixers trade deadline stuff. We'll talk, Flyers are coming back. They're playing really well coming out of this All-Star break. So, they're the hottest team in the city. Last I saw, they got like a 68% chance of making the playoffs.
And the Sixers are going to be bounced. You got
the Sixers, yeah. I mean, listen, at the rate the Sixers are going, they're going to be lucky to hold on to one of those playing spots.
Yep. Thank you, buddy. Hill.
They're going to have a lot of expiring contracts and cap space. Yay, off season.
Yeah, for us to sign no one. I love it. It's my favorite. But guys, thank you for sticking with us. I have no fucks to give today, because I'm in a good mood. No fucks for anyone. Just have a great weekend. Be safe. Please don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly, and we will see you next week. I'm Rich. That's Don. We are Drunk on Broad. Love you, Philly. It will get better. Go Birds.
Later, skaters. Go Birds.
Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
EATLES Eagles!